Hi there, I would like to show you my latest update for my Python cable tray app. It is the 1.22 version. So what you have requested from me many times, I mean some of you requested it, is the possibility to make reducing crosses. So here it is. It took some scripting to make it possible, and there will be numerous parameters. I will explain you shortly why we need all these. So I just hit create and hope, yes, that all parameters are working. So actually this is now a completely equal, symmetrical, centrally symmetrical cross, nothing special. So what you can do with it, if I just modify the equipment, you can obviously change the cable tray height, nothing fancy here. I can decrease it to 70, for example. The B is the usual side profile width. So since the latest updates, if you enter a negative value here, it will flip. So it is working here also. And now comes the new part. So all branches have a dedicated width. C1, C2, C3, C4. So for example, I can change C1 to 300. And this is C1, now we know. And it is already expanded to 300. And I will reduce, let's say, C4 to 150. So this is reduced to 150. So this is C1, C2, C3, C4. So let's say I modify C3 to 400. You see? So now basically all branches are having a different width. So let's go forward with the parameters. As you can see, we have also an L value for each part. This is shown here. For example, this is L3, this is L2, L1. So basically the L value is the length of that particular branch from the center point. So this is basically C1. So the length from the center, this one, is L1. So if I increase it to 500, it will go like this. So theoretically from this center point to the end connecting point, it is 500 now. There is one thing, however, that this L value, this L1, is limited, because it has to be bigger than the half length of the bigger branch width. So in this case, this is C2. So this L1 have to be bigger than the C2 divided by 2. So from the center to C2 plus R, because R is the radius of this curvature. So this one, the half width plus the R is the minimum of the L1 length, and this is all over for all branches. So for example, if I reduce this L1 to 0, it won't be 0. It will be the minimal length to have a 90-degree connection bend here. So let's test, let's say L3, this is 300, then it, I think, will reach the minimum most probably, yes. But if I increase to 600, it will be increased to 300, as you can see. Okay, so the thickness is the usual. So you can increase the thickness of the plates, and if you use a negative thickness here, the stiffeners will be solid rectangular items. I go back with this one to 0. Okay, all other parameters. Sorry. FA, FB, usual things. These are the height and width of the stiffeners. R is the radius, so you can decrease the radius if you want. And there is one, let's say, hidden thing, let's say hidden. If you want to turn off the outside stiffeners, because let's say it's too close to the inner stiffeners, you just enter a negative value for FA or FB. You see? And you can turn them off if you wish. I turn them back on. Okay, type parameter is the usual thing, so if I enter -1, it will be a plate type thingy, and then comes the 2 parameter for the cover. So let's say I enter 10 here and 1 here, and we will theoretically have a cover. Yes, you see. Okay, and one last thing. Since one of the latest updates, I have an NA parameter, which is offsetting the connection point in vertical direction. So for example, I can change the connection point of NA1 to 70 millimeter, and this way, you see, all the connection points are at the bottom. This is at the bottom, this is at the bottom, this is also at the bottom, but this one is at the top because I entered 70, which is the height of the cable tray. So this is it. You can obviously use it as an equipment, but as usual, I recommend to create a catalog first in the spec editor and fill this catalog with all the items you need. And if you hit create new fitting cross, you will have this cable tray cross 2, which is the reducing one. From the preview picture you will be able to see it. So if I enter 100, 100, create, so all the parameters are here, similarly as in the Plant 3D space, in the equipment creation. As I told you many times, this equipment creation here is just for testing if all your parameters are working properly and not generating an error here. And if you're sure, you can go here and just enter the parameters. You know, because here in the spec editor you are not seeing if you are entering some strange values which is generating a geometrical error. So I try to limit the human error as much as possible. But for example, if you enter a negative A value, I think you will have an error for sure. So this is it in the spec editor. I have one more note. So for example, if I create a part where every port have a 100 width, you see, I fill it with, let's say all ports have the same properties, 100. Okay, and go here, I also enter something. 111, save to catalog. So I have a feeling that there is something odd in the spec editor with the items having more than 2 ports. But even maybe it is happening sometimes for items which are having just 2 or 1 port. So the thing is that If you fill in the port sizes and hit save, after that, I'm not sure how you can change them. I mean, you can change it here for sure. You can change it to 200 and 300 and you can save it and it will keep it like this. But somehow when you add this item to the 3D space, it will remember that it was created as a 100 port. So it will remember that the port 3 was originally 100 and the port 4 was 102. Whatever I changed, I even removed the item from my spec sheet, I re-added it, it was somehow there. So if you want to change the port connection properties, I recommend you to make a new one, because somehow spec editor, at least for me, working a little bit odd if I want to change the port sizes at later stage. Okay, this was this update. I hope it is a useful addition. Some of you have asked it, but hopefully it will be useful for many others. So thank you for watching and see you until next time. Bye bye.